I was doing a bit of self-reflection recently, and I was pondering how God always has a very unique way of making the sufferings of the past turn into a mere image in a more beautiful way to the blessings of the future. And for example, for most of my life, I was feeling invisible. I didn't feel like I was seen. I didn't feel like I was heard. And there was just so many different things that were happening in the early parts of my life where I just didn't feel like I was even part of anything really. And now it's almost like God was preparing me for what it was going to feel like when I'm invisible, so that now I have the polar opposite. It's it's like the people in your community sometimes, just by you being who you are, they are so enamored by you and so encapsulated into who you are and what you're doing and what you're about because you're so mysterious. Like you're so mysterious and you're not really trying to be mysterious. You're just being you. And when you're mysterious, they watch everything that you do. Every little thing that you do is going to be watched. When you have a mysterious aura where not a lot of people know who you are, but you're willing to be who you are, people all of a sudden are like, well, wait, but what is he like here? But what is he like there? Who is this guy? Like they wanna unlock the box, right? They want to be the one to unlock the treasure. Like they sometimes feel like it's a competition amongst themselves, the NPCs. They feel like it's a competition to see who can unlock this mysterious person first. And it's so funny because, again, we're not trying to be mysterious. We're just godly people that, for the most part, want to be left alone. Like all that we really want, and I'm not speaking for everybody here, but I'm speaking probably for a lot of people, is we don't really care about the fame. What we care about is the money. What we care about is just being able to live a life with the proper amount of resources and wealth so that we can live sustainably and take care of our families, etc. We only care about money because that's the way that the world works. We only care about trying to get things going with people because we know that in order to have a network of people, like to actually build your network is going to be very important. If you don't know how to build your network in the ages of like 20 to 30, your 20s and 30s, which is what I've seen most men, by the time they're 40 or 50 and they haven't made those connections, that seems to be where they start to have regrets. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy with the, oh, I should have done that. I should have done this. It's like, yeah, I don't want to be like that. But at the same time, I understand it. I understand where these people are coming from. I understand the implications that this kind of mindset has. Still doesn't really make it right, but you guys get the point here. So with that being said, then, when you are somebody that is mysterious, where you are being who you are, you better believe that you're going to have a lot of people after you. You better believe that nobody's going to really care up until you have certain results. And until you have those results, the resolve of people, like you're not going to have the kind of reach that you actually need to actually make a difference if that's what you're looking for in this world. Like, I want to make a difference. I want to revolutionize spirituality and psychology. I want to bring something completely new to the table. And I want to make sure that I'm doing new things as often as I can, just to keep things fresh and fun and light and new, but also because I know that I love healthy spontaneity. I know that in my relationships, whenever there's been healthy spontaneity, things seem to flourish. We want to try this, we want to try that. It's like, is this going to work over here? Is that going to work over there? If it doesn't work, that's fine. We're going to find something else that does work. And that's just the mindset that we have, right? That's just the vision. And when you're somebody that is going to be living their life in such a way, if this is what you want, I'm not saying that everybody needs to live life like me, but because I'm definitely not perfect, but I'm striving to be perfect as my Lord Jesus Christ commands me to. When I am being who I am, that is literally the highest vibrational frequency that you can be on, is when you are being authentic, when you are being true to who you are. That means that you are actually allowing things to unfold the way that they need to. You're actually allowing this life to be lived. And that's it takes a lot of guts, honestly. It takes a lot of practice and courage to get to this point where you're able to acknowledge that maybe you don't have it all figured out, but what you do have figured out is who you are. You know who you are, and you're going to go out there, and if you're not getting what you feel like you deserve, you're going to go out there and you're going to make it happen. You're going to make it happen. You're going to get what you deserve. There's that quote from Rocky where he's telling his son, right? He's telling his son, like, only quitters and people that are not wanting to be accountable. I can't remember exactly what he says there, but it's like a very inspiring speech that Rocky gives to his son in like one of the newer Rocky movies. And he says, if you want to keep pointing your fingers at who's wronged you and who's done this to you and who's done that to you, that's fine. But that's not a winner. Winners can take the hits. You got to be able to take the hit and keep moving forward. I've never seen a winner that has not taken a big hit and has not continued forward. Winners will take the hit and continue forward. This is where your willpower has to really be fortified. You have to bend reality to your will. And if you're a man, this is something that you must know how to do. And it's not about forcing your will upon people, because I want to give people the freedom to choose just as much as, because I'm striving to be like Christ, right? So I follow Christ. I want to be able to give the freedom to choose for these people, but I also don't want them to tread on me. I don't want them to treat me like a doormat. Well, how do you get that to that point? How do you understand when to walk away from disrespect? Well, it depends on the severity of the disrespect, and it depends on the kinds of disrespect that it is. You see, a lot of people will watch you and will pay attention to everything that you do. For example, like today at the gym, this guy talked to me, and he asked me a very random question. And it was, he asked me if I taught drums, and I said, no, I don't teach drums. I don't teach drums, no. And he's like, oh, and he went on a little story about how somebody that learned the drums thought that I was his drum instructor or something, which I guess I have a familiar face. People often say that I look like somebody to them. I don't know. I've had people tell me I look like Jim Morrison. I have people telling me that I look like Jesus. I have people telling me that I look like their friend from high school. I have people of all different kinds. I guess I just have a familiar face. And the physiognomy is there, apparently. So, anyway, it is what it is, right? So this guy, he continues to ask, and he seems like a genuine person, He seems pretty chill. He's got a very relaxed demeanor, and can actually look you in the eye, and he seems friendly. And one thing that I try to do with all my social interactions, and it's kind of like a social skills hack, is treating everybody like they're already known to me. And so I just completely relax into myself, and it allows me to be more authentic, and it allows me to be more playful and fun. But I also know that I've also got to be wary if this person is a snake or not. Like, because usually people always want something. Like, that's just the way that people are, even if they act like they don't. That just, in my experience, that seems to be the case. And so, I'm just a real person that states their intentions purely. And sometimes when you're trying to market yourself in social situations, especially when you know that you're being watched, you've got to like, I don't want to say you got to play a character, but at the same time, you've got to know how to play the character. And so if something's happening, you've got to know how to Aikido that kind of stuff, right? Like anybody that knows Aikido, it's a martial art where you use the force and the momentum of your opponent against them. And so they're trying to force stuff on you, and you like take the energy and shoot it back to them, so to speak, right? You can bend and maneuver how you need to. So this is kind of like the Aikido for social skills. And so this guy, he continues to talk, and he's asking me, some questions and such. And I feel like I'm open. I can be open enough to talk about certain things. I feel as though, okay, I can be open enough about this with this guy. And this kind of information is not going to be used against me. This is literally how I think, because I know that I have enemies. I know that I have enemies. I know that I have people watching me, and I know that there are people watching everything that I do. But this guy, he then goes to show, he's like, yeah, I see you in here all the time. You're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing this. And he like lists out some of my workouts that I had no clue if people were watching me do those kinds of things, like, or practicing. Because I've been practicing like kick-ups recently. Because I used to be able to do kick-ups really well when I was I was in martial arts full time, but now, doing a kick up is kind of a task. And so I've been practicing kick ups, but I'm usually like in the corner or in the back room. Somehow, like, these people know what I'm doing when I don't even think that anybody's really watching me. And it's like, part of me, like the paranoid part of me, which I'm not paranoid, but like the paranoid part of me sometimes wants to joke and be like, man, is this guy part of the government? Like, is this guy from the government? Like, because, man, this is just crazy. Because I've seen, this is what's happening on my YouTube channel too. And this is why I'm trying to build on other social media platforms, because my biggest following is on YouTube. But lately, the views have literally gone up and then they go down. Like, in the back end, they're going up and then they go down in real time on the back end. And it's only within the first like 30 minutes I've noticed. And it depends on like the kinds of videos. If I'm talking about some kind of, like, if I have something specific in the title, let's say, that is relating to truth that some people may not want to hear, it's like they don't like that. They don't like that. YouTube doesn't like that. But if I just talk about it here in the video, apparently it's fine. That's I don't know if that's an algorithm thing or what, but that's something that I've noticed, because my last video I had something specific in the title that I had to change. So, and guess what? As soon as I changed the title, all of the views came back. And it's like, what in the world? Like, these people are watching. Like, censorship and shadow banning is real. And you know how I know this also is because I've seen multiple content creators who've been like stuck. They've been stuck at a certain amount of subscribers for like months. And these people, there's no way that these people are not getting followers. Like, there's no way. These people are way too good. These people are way too authentic to not have more people going after and watching them. And it's like, this is crazy. Us authentic people, we are literally hated by society. We are literally despised. And yet, like, we don't really care about them. They make it our business to have to be alert about these things. Because if we're not, then we're not going to be able to put food on the table. We're not going to be able to do things. So anyways, like, just crazy stuff happening, guys. Crazy stuff happening. But I wanted to come through and make this video and give people some insight or understanding about this topic. Because, yeah, when you start to become a spiritual celebrity, so to speak, you may not be a celebrity in the physical, but you're a celebrity in the spiritual domain. Weird things are going to happen. Weird things are going to be occurring. So be mindful of that. Be courteous, be cautious, but press forward nonetheless. You got to continue forward. All right. So I hope that this video was edifying or insightful in one way, shape, or form. If you do want to join the Telegram, the free Telegram channel, there is a link in the description box below for that, as well as the paid community for the Regal Change Academy. And we've got a bunch of different classes going on. Right now, we're finishing up the Legends of Stoicism. We do have a weekly Maps of the Psyche class, as well as a weekly Bible study and a Regal Assembly call, as well as a lot of other different kinds of tools available at your leisure and disposal. And then we also have a whole bunch of other events coming up. We do have the 3-day fast coming up next week, so we'll be looking out for that. That'll be a group fast for anybody that wants to participate. You don't have to do the full 3 days, but just do as long as you can. And then I do appreciate everybody moving from the YouTube platform over to X, Rumble, Instagram, because guys, I don't know how long this YouTube thing I'm gonna do. I don't know how long I'm gonna do YouTube, because like I'm getting way more traction on X right now. So I don't know. And X is more like the Wild West right now too. So who knows what's going to happen, but I'm still going to be posting on YouTube for sure. I'm not going to stop. And the algorithm, like, I know God, if God wants this message to go out, it's going to go out. That's the way that I see it. I know it. I trust God. I have full faith in him no matter what. So with all that being said, peace be with you all. Until next time.